Think about someone you used to know. Maybe a friend. Maybe a classmate. Maybe a cousin. Someone who was warm, humble, and kind. Someone who laughed with you. Someone who never made you feel small. Now think about who they became after they got successful. The promotion. The money. The followers. The recognition. And suddenly, they stopped calling. They stopped listening. They looked through you like you were invisible. They became a stranger wearing a familiar face. You asked yourself, what happened to them? Where did the person I knew go? If you have felt this, then today's question is going to cut deep. Welcome to Learn English with One Question. I am David Phill. And today we ask, why do people change after success? Stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you will understand something that most people never figure out. And you will learn powerful English words that will make you a stronger, smarter speaker. Let's begin. I want to tell you about two brothers. Their names were James and Daniel. They grew up in a small house with thin walls and big dreams. Their family had very little money. But they had each other. Every night, the two brothers would sit on the roof of their small house and talk about the future. James would say, "One day, Daniel, we will have everything." And Daniel would smile and say, "As long as we have each other, we already do." They were inseparable. That is our first vocabulary word, inseparable. When two people are inseparable, they are always together. You cannot imagine one without the other. James and Daniel were inseparable. Years passed. James worked incredibly hard. He built a business. It grew. Then it grew again. By the time he was 35, James was wealthy. He had an office. He had employees. He had power. But something else grew along with his success. Something quiet. Something dangerous. His ego. That is our second vocabulary word, ego. Your ego is the part of you that thinks about itself. It is your sense of importance. Your belief in your own value. A small ego is healthy. But a large ego, an ego that grows bigger than your heart, that is where the trouble begins. James stopped visiting the small house. He stopped calling Daniel. When they did meet, James spoke only about himself. His achievements. His plans. His opinions. Daniel would try to share his own small joys, a new job, a daughter's first steps, and James would nod without listening, already looking at his phone. One evening Daniel said quietly, "James, you have changed." And James replied, "People change, Daniel. That is called growth." But Daniel shook his head slowly and said something that I want you to remember. He said, "No, James. Growth makes you bigger on the inside. You have only grown bigger on the outside." And after that evening, the two brothers never spoke again. So why did James change? Why does success do this to people? I am going to give you 3 clear reasons. And with each reason, I will teach you important English words. These are real words. Powerful words. Words that educated English speakers use every day. Are you ready? Let's go. Reason number 1. Success changes the people around you, and that changes you. When you are struggling, the people around you are honest with you. They tell you when you are wrong. They laugh at your mistakes. They keep you humble. Humble, that is our third vocabulary word. When you are humble, you do not think you are better than other people. You stay grounded. You listen. You learn. Humble people are the easiest people in the world to love. But when success arrives, something shifts. New people enter your life. People who want something from you. People who agree with everything you say. People who laugh at every joke, even the bad ones. These people are called yes men in English. A yes man is someone who always agrees with you. Not because you are right, but because they are afraid to disagree. They want your money. They want your connections. They want your influence. And slowly, without realizing it, you start to believe them. You start to believe that you are always right. That your ideas are always brilliant. That your jokes are always funny. You lose the honest voices, and you replace them with comfortable lies. And that is when the real person inside you starts to disappear. Reason number 2. Success creates a new identity, and the old self gets left behind. Our fourth vocabulary word is identity. Your identity is who you are. Your values. Your personality. Your story. Before success, your identity was simple. You were a student, a worker, a dreamer. You were defined by your struggle. By your hunger. By your hope. But after success, you are given a new identity. You are the boss. The celebrity. The expert. The leader. And this new identity comes with rules. Unspoken rules. Successful people do not admit weakness. Successful people do not ask for help. Successful people do not show vulnerability. Vulnerability, our fifth vocabulary word. Vulnerability is the courage to show your true feelings. To admit that you are scared. That you do not have all the answers. That you still need people. Vulnerability is actually a sign of strength. But in the world of success, it is treated like a weakness. And so people hide it. They build walls. They wear masks. They perform a version of themselves that fits the image, and slowly, they forget who they really were before the performance began. Reason number 3. Success can create fear, and fear changes everything. This is the reason nobody talks about. People assume that successful people are confident. But many of them are secretly terrified. Terrified of losing what they built. Terrified of being exposed as ordinary. Terrified that if people truly knew them, the real them, with all the doubts and insecurities, they would walk away. This fear has a name in English. It is called impostor syndrome. Impostor syndrome is the feeling that you do not truly deserve your success. That you got lucky. That one day, everyone will find out that you are not as great as they think. And so to protect themselves, people become cold. They become distant. They become controlling. They push people away before people can discover the truth. They change, not because success made them cruel, but because fear made them a prisoner inside their own achievement. And the saddest part? The people they push away the most, the old friends, the humble family members, the honest voices, those are the exact people who could have saved them. Vocabulary time, my friends. 5 powerful English words from today. Say each one out loud with me. Your voice is your best teacher. Let's go. Word 1, inseparable meaning, so close that you cannot imagine being apart. Example, James and Daniel were inseparable as children. Common phrase, we are completely inseparable. Use this to describe a deep, close friendship or bond. Word 2, ego meaning, your sense of your own importance. Example, his ego grew larger than his heart. Common phrase, he has a huge ego. Use this when someone thinks too highly of themselves and stops caring about others. Word 3, humble meaning, not thinking you are better than others. Staying grounded and open. Example, before success, James was humble and kind. Common phrase, stay humble. This is one of the most important phrases in modern English, you will hear it everywhere. Word 4, identity meaning, who you are, your values, personality, and story. Example, Success gave James a new identity and buried the old one. Common phrase, I am searching for my identity. Use this when talking about self-discovery or personal change. Word 5, vulnerability meaning, the courage to show your true feelings and admit your weaknesses. Example. Success made James hide his vulnerability behind a cold mask. Common phrase, it takes strength to show vulnerability. This is a deeply powerful English word, use it and people will notice. And remember the expression from today, impostor syndrome, the secret fear that you do not deserve your success. This is one of the most important psychological phrases in modern English. It is used in business, in therapy, in conversations between friends. Thank you so much for being here today. I am David Phill, and this is Learn English with One Question. If this video moved you, if it taught you something real, please give it a thumbs up right now. It costs you nothing. And it means everything to this channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do it right now. Hit that subscribe button. Every single week, we explore one powerful question together and we grow our English together. You are not just learning a language here. You are learning how to think, how to feel, how to speak. And that is something nobody can ever take from you. I will see you in the next episode. Until then, stay humble, stay kind, and never forget who you were before the world knew your name. Take care, my friend.